All right. So as far as practicing today, Frank Clark won't practice. He's got a little bit of a swollen knee. Should be okay though as we go, but we'll rest him up today. And Schwartz is not going to practice. Likewise with the back. We do have Sherm back. He'll be out there. Sammy Watkins will get some work in, and we'll see how he does. And then Snead will also be out getting some work in. So we look forward to the challenge of playing the Panthers. Well-coached football team, good players, play aggressive, and we got to have a good week of practice. So that time's yours.
First is Sam Mellinger. Good, Sam.
Hey, Andy. I'm curious with, the election day over, could you review for us just sort of how you guys handled that or discussed that internally? I mean, was it more informal, just players can talk about candidates or whatever amongst themselves? Did you guys ever do that as a team?
No. We just, I alerted them. First of all, they set it up. So with it being here, so they've been in touch with this, the whole training camp and so on. So that was kind of their baby right there, putting it together. So, so then I alerted them that they would have the day off, and not that they didn't know that, but they were going to have the day off, and and then we just went from there. Everybody do their business and take care of what they need to take care of.
Go next to Blair Kirchhoff. Good, Blair.
Hey, Andy. And Brad, I'll have a quick follow for this, but we're getting a couple of first-year players today on the conference call, and I just was wondering if you could speak to the challenges first-year players in the NFL had this season because of the COVID restrictions and no preseason games.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's different. They came in without much other than like we're doing here. These were our meetings, and we'd put the play up on the screen, and we'd talk about it, and we could show them video through the computer, and so that's what we did. But having run the play, that didn't take place. Normally, you've got everything installed and you've run it before you get to training camp. Again, that wasn't the case this offseason. So I was proud of the way they came in and attacked camp, and they didn't let any distractions get in the way of learning, and did a nice job with it.
And how about the value of having an experienced championship locker room to walk into for these guys?
Yeah, that helps. Well, it helps to have guys that are willing to share, and that's the most important thing. You can have the experienced locker room, but if nobody wants to give the young guys a helping hand, that's not real good either. So, but this crew here, they're willing to share and teach, and kind of check their egos at the door on that.
Go next to Herbie Tiopi. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, good morning, Coach. Specific to Martinez Rankin, that if my math is correct, this is the third week of the 21-day window since he returned to practice. What are you hoping to see out of him this week before making that determination and he is ready to come back to the active roster? Yeah,
so he's getting there. I mean, he's real close. And I think it's great the way this is set up, where he's got that time to get himself ready to go. I mean, he had no camp, and this is the first football he's had the last couple of weeks. So it's good for him to get in there and bang it around a little bit on, on the scout team. So that's what he's been doing.
Go next to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Good morning, Coach. One of the players we'll get today is Turk Wharton. And just speaking to the thought of undrafted players, and I don't do a ton of personnel work anymore, but just how difficult is it to get contributors that are undrafted from these smaller schools? And then Turk specifically, what have you seen that you liked?
Well, if you're going to get one, you get them from Missouri Science and Tech. I mean, come on, it's I think it's awesome for the area, for the school, university, and for the kid. I mean, he's done nothing but shut his mouth and work hard, and learn, and he's a smart kid, so good person, all that. He's done a real nice job.
Go next to Sarin Petro. Go ahead, Sarin.
Coach, I know you've talked a lot about how, every receiver, you want to be able to know every position, right? And so that's part of what they want. McCole Hardman's obviously having to move around. You mentioned Sammy getting a little bit of work. How difficult is that? I mean, I know that's what you want, but to actually, because of all the diversity in your offense, is that a 2-year deal, a 3-year? I mean, I'm sure every guy's similar, but how much better is McCole Hardman ready to move around this year versus last year?
Yeah, he does a great job. He knows every position. Real smart kid. I mean, he was smart last year too. We're getting him kind of caught up to the different fundamental techniques and all the coverages that you see. But he can play any position in there and knows them all and knows them well. So, and really the way Greg does it is, the guys have a position that they know, but they're different personnel groups, even within the 3 wide receiver scheme. So you've got to be flexible when where you move. One week might be the same play as the week before, but you're doing something different, and you're in just a different spot. So you got to have a pretty good grasp on things. You got to be able to get out of the huddle, and which becomes somewhat important. Not always accomplished, but somewhat important, and get lined up, and then know what you're doing in a short period of time.
Looks like we've got 3 more left. Let's go Adam, Darren, and then Matt. Go ahead, Adam.
Hi, Andy. Correct me if I'm wrong, but a couple of your kids have connections to Matt Rule from when they were at Temple. Plus, for at least part of Matt's time at Temple, you were coaching down the street. So my question for you is, how well did you get to know Matt back then? And could you kind of see he was going places even back then?
Yeah, well, Britt worked with him and told me I need to hire him, and when I had a full staff, when it got time to hire him, he darted up to the Giants. And so he had an opportunity to go with Coughlin up there. And so Coach had him as a quality control coach, and he got, he did a nice job there, then came back and became this head coach that really did a great job at all the stops in college. So, but I've had a chance to get to know him. And I think he does he's doing a great job now. I loved watching him at the college level, and he did a great job there too. So he's good for the National Football League. My youngest son had a chance to play for him too, so that was a plus.
Go next to Darren Smith. Go ahead, Darren.
Good morning, Coach. First off, first half of the season, has the team met your expectations on what you've expected with, COVID, lack of off-season stuff, practices and stuff like that? Have they met your expectations being 7-1? Then what are you looking forward to in the second half of the season? And then also, I know the NFL, the competition committee has talked about possibly expanding it to 16 teams, in case COVID rips up games later on the season. What are your thoughts on that as well?
Yeah, so listen, I'm proud of the guys just for how they've taken care of business. And I mean, are there going to be hiccups in the road? Yeah, absolutely. It's happening everywhere. So we get it. We're just trying to do the best we can do individually and collectively as a group. As far as expectation, we got to keep getting better as a team. But as far as doing the right things and working to that goal, they've been tremendous that way. So, and then I'm not sure exactly all the workings of how that's going to go with the extended season or the playoff, extended number of players, teams in the playoffs and all that. So, but whatever they do, we're going to be right there, with them and support them. So, I mean, we're all in this together, and the league's just trying to maneuver through a complicated situation and still give the fans a great show and at the same time keep the players safe, but giving them an opportunity to make a living doing what they love doing.
Go last to Matt, Derek.
Hey, Coach, Brett's talked about how Tershon really got a chance to show himself at the Shrine Bowl, and there's been a lot of guys, and you worked with these college all-star games in the past. With the Shrine Bowl canceled this year, maybe some of the others up in the air, and just the contact with college kids this year limited, how tough is that going to be, to really kind of get to know those kids, and how do you feel for these kids that maybe won't get a chance to prove themselves?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it with the high schools, I've seen it with the colleges. That's a tough deal. They've worked so hard to get to this point. whether it's a high school kid just getting to a senior year and have an opportunity to play and or go on to the college level. And then these college kids bust their tail and there they have a chance to either finish up their senior year, junior year, or jump into the NFL. So, you know, the more opportunity we have a chance to see the guys and meet them, talk to them, the more comfortable you are bringing them into your team. So without that, we'll have to find a different way to maneuver, I think.
Coach, we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, good. Thank you.